Hello there! Welcome to Flex Success, a guide to productive flex raiding. My name is Tuskeh, and in this guide we'll discuss various things you can do to become a more productive flexible mode raider. Whether you run with your guild or join or create pickup groups, this video should hopefully throw some helpful tips your way. Now, flex raiding is really helpful. Not only is it a great stepping stone into normal mode raiding in terms of skill, but it's also great for shoring up your gear. If you're a normal mode raider that's gearing up to progress into tougher content, remember to run flex to help get rid of those raid finder level pieces of gear. The flex items aren't significantly better than LFR, but they will certainly help, and with your gear you'll likely be of great use to flex teams. For others who want to get into raiding, flex is a good start. It allows for more lenient mechanics and numbers to ease players or guilds that aren't quite ready for normal mode into raiding. First of all, it's important to completely understand how the flex system works. Pretty much anyone that's heard of it knows that it's designed to allow for teams of any size, but it's also important to remember that your raid composition still matters quite a lot. You're always going to want to run with more than one tank, for instance, and you can't have a raid of 22 DPS, 2 tanks and 1 healer, it just won't work. Additionally, it's important to note that flex no longer really has breakpoints, as they were known. These were points where abilities would scale to the raid's size. For instance, if you had 14 people in the raid, an ability might hit 2 people. If you went up to 15, suddenly it would hit 3 people. Flex just doesn't work like this anymore. It's fairer. Instead, if you have 10 people in your raid, the ability will hit 2 people. If you have 11, it will hit 2 people, and it will have a small chance to hit another. If you have 14, it'll hit 2 people and have a high chance to hit another. Once you hit 15, it will always hit 3 people. This way it doesn't matter how big your raid is, as long as each person can pull their weight, you should succeed. This brings us on to mentality. Remember that even if you're in a full pickup group, the people in your raid want to be here and they want to succeed. Make sure you're social and communicate as much as possible. Don't spam the raid, of course, but let people know if you don't know a particular fight very well, and if someone needs help, offer it to them. Every time someone improves, the raid they're in and any raid they go to in the future will be stronger. Remember, patience is a virtue. Wipes can happen from the simplest, most stupid of errors to complex, step-at-a-time deconstruction of what happened to your raid. Try to locate what killed people, and let the raid know what went wrong so you can go again. Don't give up after the first try. Giving up on a raid is not a good idea, unless it's in the most dire of circumstances. You might have someone who's struggling in your raid. See what you can do to help them succeed. If you have a lower item level and you're worried that you might not pull your weight, let the raid leader know. It's much better for them to find someone who can help pick up the slack, either in DPS or healing, if they know what problems might occur. Yes, you may be kicked from the group for telling them that your item level is low, but if this happens, 1, you probably wouldn't have enjoyed that raid much in the first place, and 2, it's much more likely that a raid leader won't kick someone who admits to their weaknesses. It's a sign of a good raider. This is the same for screwing mechanics up. If you stand in something bad or make a mistake, just let people know. Own up to your mistakes. You're much more likely to remain in a group and keep things running smoothly if you locate and own up to your own mistakes, and don't repeat them. This is, again, a sign of a good raider. Now, this brings us on to problem players. While sometimes you might get a raid full of great players who are really friendly, it's also possible, and really unfortunately probable, that you're going to run into players who are unkind, don't communicate, or communicate in a very hostile way. Dealing with these players can be difficult, and it generally falls down to the raid leader to do so. If you have a player who is just being nasty to the raid, the best way, in my opinion, is to give them a warning in Whisper. If they continue, give them a warning in raid, then remove them from the group if they continue. This is a particularly lenient approach coming from me, and sometimes a plain and simple group kick can be better. It's up to you as the raid leader to judge the situation and act accordingly. The most important thing is to not act like an ass. This goes for every player in the raid. If you're not the raid leader and you have a problem player, consider trying to help anyway, but try not to just cause drama. That's the last thing that the raid group will need. If you're looking to create a group, as I do every time I record a wing for guides, you're going to want to be clear, concise, and communicative. When you're browsing for players, don't just invite them. I find that this is kind of rude. Make sure you whisper them first. Just whispering them, hey, fresh wing 1 group forming, need all, is a great start. You can easily just copy paste that into everyone you invite. Make sure to use your note in the raid finder. Doing so will bring prospective players to you, which is a good way to get raid members. A lot of people just look at the list of people queuing for flex raids, and if there's no big groups going, they won't even queue themselves. Just don't rely entirely on this. Everyone listed in the raid finder wants to go to the wing. Be prepared for people to be AFK or in a wing already. If you're in a forming raid, just be patient and wait for things to get rolling. It should take somewhere between 5 and 20 minutes. When you're inside your flex raid, remember that although the difficulty isn't as high as normal mode raiding, it's important that you don't screw mechanics up. There's more room for error, yes, but it doesn't extend nearly as far as LFR does. Know the mechanics and don't go in blind. A final tip. Make sure you make friends while doing this kind of thing. You're likely to run into people who are bad players with bad attitudes, yes, but you're also likely to run into players who are very friendly. Try to create a good environment in your raid chat, and if you can, make battle tag friends so that when you need to go into a flex again, you can bring along people that you know can pull their weight and that are friendly. This can be a great way to make a guild flex stronger as well. I've met a few people from doing flex mode raiding that have now actually joined our 10-man normal group. They're great players and quickly becoming good friends. That's it for this guide. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any comments, thoughts, feedback or advice, feel free to leave a comment below. Make sure you like or dislike the video and subscribe to catch these guides as soon as they come out. Thank you very much for watching and best of luck with your flex modes and your shiny loot.